Tech billionaires, do they want us dead or do they want us to live forever? Or do they kind of want to exterminate us like cockroaches? Or like they would say in Scarface, cockroaches. Well, Taylor Lorenz thinks that's the case. Not the cockroaches, but that we're going to be exterminated ultimately by corporate America. But I've got a different take on things. Being the attitude that I have. It's actually, I'm going to reveal in this video, it's a two-step process, I think is the way it could go. The first step talk about is universal basic income, UBI. And the second step is really important, it's a clever way for corporate America to guarantee us a job for life. All right, well, stay tuned. Here's the problem. Robots and AI will be replacing us. We've already seen that happen. In fact, Bernie Sanders talks about how Amazon is going to replace 600,000 workers. And I don't think it's going to stop with Amazon. Now, because we are ultimately in the process of replacing humans with machines. The thing for corporate America, the job creators, machines do not get sick. Machines do not need health insurance, of course. Machines don't need housing. And machines do not need retirement benefits or vacation pay. So it's pretty attractive to corporate America in that regard. So we already replace old folks like me with younger folks. So why don't we just replace everybody with machines? Well, Mr. Yang, Andrew Yang, suggested a few years ago this universal basic income, or what he called the dividend, the freedom dividend, and where each adult gets $1,000 to offset the job losses from automation. Well, at least I guess that's a start. But the thing is that where that money is going to come from is from corporate America, who is getting all those billions and trillions of dollars worth of tax cuts. So they've already got that money. But I'm thinking that corporate America might find a way to get out of that. If they can get out of taxes, then probably get out of UBI and maybe have the government, the taxpayers, pay for it instead of corporate America. And the thing is, though, is that if we all get $1,000, yeah, that's going to go really far, that's probably going to be taxed. So at the end of the day, what are you really going to be able to do with that money? Create your own businesses, right? So that you can create more robots. I think that this immediately reminds me of this story involving it's a joke actually. It's involving a monkey, an astronaut, and a spaceship. And so the spaceship launches, a rocket launches into space, and for the first few hours, the monkey is, taking care of the blood pressure, checking the blood pressure, the dials, everything that the monkey has been trained to do. And then soon, the red light comes on, and that's going to be the first opportunity for the human, and the human's instructions are about to come. And the red light comes on, and the instructions for the human are, feed the monkey. And, that's, I think that's kind of revealing, because this idea is that, we're going to be replacing humans with robots. And so really all we need are humans to feed the monkey, so to speak, and be mechanics. So that's where ultimately we're headed, but I think that corporate America, though, has come up with an idea. Well, they haven't probably come up with an idea yet, perhaps this specific idea, but I gained a lot of value from Taylor Lorenz's video, and I think what's going to happen is that the job creators, corporate America, is going to be able to guarantee us a job for life, and they're also going to be able to extend our life, and those two things go together. In fact, it's humans plus robots plus AI. And the secret is essentially, and I'll tell you more details here, is that they're going to be converting us all into cyborgs, transhumans. The idea is if you can't beat them, then join them. Now, what is a cyborg? Well, it's a cybernetic organism. It's part machine and part human. Think of RoboCop. But instead of RoboCop, I guess it would be called Robo-Worker. And you see, RoboCop was a story decades ago. It was a film, a movie, in which this police officer, they were in the process of privatizing the city police. I'm making it yet another corporate opportunity for profit. So they're privatizing the police force, and they end up there's this one police officer that these guys tried to kill him, and so he was very close to death. And it's kind of along the lines of the $6 million man. Is what they did is they took the what remained of life with this police officer and made him into RoboCop. Is that they put his face on it, and his face behind the mask and behind the helmet, and but his brain was there. So it was his brain and his face that was placed onto a mechanic chassis. It's along the lines similar to not RoboCop, but also the Terminator. Of course, a different story. Now, of course, the skin was real human skin, and that regenerates, the process known as mitosis. So, this is not a new story of this idea of transplanting a brain into a machine. We have earlier, decades ago, with Frankenstein, in which a human brain, abnormal or abnormal, depending on how you want to call it, was placed into a cadaver. And then we have the Frankenstein monster, and that just really didn't work out very well. But so really with corporate America, I think what the modification is going to be is, first we start with UBI. UBI is a way of kind of fattening the calf. It's a transition period for us, is that we have universal basic income, and they fatten us with that, so to speak, with a measly sum. But wait, there's more. There's step number 2, and that's transplanting our brains into a robot, and it becomes a cyborg. Now, they would probably start out with this. Fox News months ago talked about, one of the hosts advocated for killing of the homeless. Well, it's kind of surprising. Well, maybe not with Fox, but it's surprising that this advocacy for killing the homeless, whereas perhaps corporate America could consider this an opportunity, because the homeless oftentimes have signs that says, "I will work for food." So maybe corporate America, the job creators, are thinking that, well, this is an opportunity. What we can do is, they want to work, they were willing to work for food, and we need workers. So what we could do is transplant the brain of a homeless person into a robot. And as a result is that they will no longer need food because they're robots. They still have their brain. And so corporate America would probably see this as a win-win situation. And that's where it starts. First it starts with the homeless, and then it goes to the rest of us. There's been discussions about brain chips. Well, forget the brain chips. Why don't you just replace the whole brain? And the thing is that in that scenario, that step 2 scenario, people would not need any housing. They could just work at the warehouse. So you have a very short commute. Your home office is your office, so to speak. And your body, I guess, is ultimately the commute. And so you would be working as a cybernetic organism for an employer full-time, 7 days a week, fully employed. So there's the incentive. You'll have a job guaranteed for life, and your health care will be taken care of. Of course, you won't really need health care. So that's a little bit misleading by corporate America. You will have your mechanic taken care of, to service you in the way that apparently needs to be done. Or perhaps we have other humans, those humans that are actually remaining, who are still alive. They could actually, perform the job of a mechanic. But I can see that being replaced as well. So no retirement, no vacation, no sick leave. It sounds like a win-win situation for the homeless and for corporate America. At least that's where it starts. It's a job guaranteed for life. Truly pro-life. And it's all brought to you by corporate America, the job creators, and the best Congress money can buy. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, if you think I need some help, I already know I do, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time.